Alright, just sit back and get ready to have the most fun you ever had with an electronic device.
But he did have like 812 interceptions and average 95 tackles a game.
A quarter.
If his name comes up in a quickie, it doesn't matter who else you put him against. I don't know. I'd have to take Tennell.
The answer is always Emlyn, Tennell, and Christy Mathewson. And 95% of the time, you're right.
Look at the little Tula. She's talking to the producer. Talking to a cat. And a woman in a jumpsuit throws her a grapefruit.
All right, everybody, welcome out to the Get On With It Sports Podcast. It is Wednesday night, October the 11th, right?
It is.
2023. Jersey Johnny coming at you with me, as always. It's none other than Mr. RadioPete and Mr. Harry Lug Nutz. Say hello, gentlemen.
Hello, gentlemen.
Hi, everybody.
How are you?
I'm good. I'm at the Wild Air Brewing in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
Wild Air Beer Works in Asbury Park, New Jersey.
That's right.
This is our third anniversary show, and it's the first time the three of us have actually been all together doing this podcast.
On this street corner.
On this street corner. We've done it before on other street corners. Yeah, no, absolutely.
We have 350 fans here with us tonight. Thank you for
coming.
coming.
How are you, fan? Thank you, fan.
I highly recommend the Italian Pilsner. It's very good.
Italian Pilsner is very, very tasty here at Wild Air Beer Works.
We've had 12 of them while we were waiting for the laptop to boot. But
yeah. Yes,
we had a few technical difficulties.
We had a few technical difficulties, as this was the first live broadcast for the Get On With It Sports Podcast. We thought we had everything pinned down, but of course we didn't anticipate the updating that a Lenovo laptop had.
We didn't anticipate that we would be the ones responsible for hooking everything up.
I would say just about everything that could have gone wrong went wrong.
Yeah.
The computer crapped out because it needed to update, and then it didn't work right. We couldn't use the original microphone array that we wanted because that didn't work, and we never tested that. And it sounded good in theory. There's a message there.
Our equipment is the equivalent of the Giants' offensive line.
Pretty much. And, our equipment tonight is basically the Giants' offensive line.
Yeah.
So the fact that we actually got it up and running only 40 minutes late,
that's right.
Not bad actually when you consider.
It's 14 carries for 6 yards, and we're doing better than
they did.
We are better than the Jets' offense.
Our IT consultant is Evan Neal. Yes.
Evan Neal is our IT consultant. He was busy, making us hot dogs for lunch, but what can I say?
Blocking air.
He didn't do that right either.
No.
I mean, let's face it. The Giants' offensive line could not stop a light breeze with a heavy winter coat.
They're not good.
They may be the worst ever.
I mean, they may be the worst ever offensive line, period, let alone Giants' offensive line.
Yeah.
Wouldn't you agree, fans?
Yeah.
There we go.
That's right.
All right. So, kudos to our bartender over there, hooking us up all night. Cheers to everybody here at Wild Air Beer Works.
Right.
All the people at the bar. We want to thank everybody for putting up with us and letting us come into their home, right? And letting us do this podcast tonight.
That's right.
So, anyway, so it is our third anniversary show. We actually started a little over 3 years ago, but when you take into consideration when we first started doing the entire video, this is our third anniversary. So we're close to it anyway. So we're celebrating our third anniversary.
Feels like just yesterday or 1976.
It was somewhere in between, but yes, you're right.
It could be 17 years.
Yeah, I don't know.
It could be 17 hours.
Yes. Exactly. I don't need these anymore, or right now anyway, so I'm going to take these off so I can hear you even better.
You look better with this on.
I do. I look more professional with them on.
Yeah.
I hang them right there so I can access them quickly if I need to.
Who wants to be professional?
Who wants to be professional? We've never been professional at this point. Why should we keep it up?
No.
So it's October. The season's over for the Giants and the Jets. Maybe not necessarily technically for the Jets.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like, he got run over by a garbage truck, and he's not breathing right now.
Right.
But there's a chance that he may survive.
There's a chance that he'll be back for the playoffs.
Yeah, it's a matter of time. Unfortunately for New York football, or in this case, New Jersey football. I think we're in the right state to commiserate.
I think Giants fans realize there's no hope. I think for some Jets fans, there is some magical hope of, hey, Aaron Rodgers will be back, and yes, we will make the playoffs. We will win enough games so that we can magically have some sort of miracle in the Meadowlands.
Yeah, and
come
absolutely.
December.
Let's hope that's the case.
The Kirk Cousins trade
That's right.
talk is gearing up again because
That's
they
right.
lost again, and I think they're 1-4 now. So the rent Kirk Cousins for a season, which we discussed at length, I think on our last podcast, or I think,
Well, I mean, maybe they should trade for both Kirk Cousins and Matthew Stafford. This way, they have at least one of them come playoff time. If they make it.
but that is not the answer. And I've said I don't think Aaron Williams is coming back.
Aaron Rodgers.
Aaron Rodgers.
That was a Freudian. That was a Freudian slip.
Aaron Williams is not
That was a
coming back.
Freudian
That's
slip
true.
there. Yeah.
So
exactly.
you may want to, but I don't think it's going to. And look, the Jets are a clown show in every aspect right now. It's anyone under not defensively. They're good defensively. We all know that, but not enough to carry them to any significant number of wins.
I don't think so. Yeah.
You can't win every game. Now look, we go. Look what they did last week, and they got a couple wins. And blah blah blah.
They played the Broncos.
Yeah,
They played the Broncos,
and
I mean, let's not look too much into what they did last
Everybody
week.
can't play the Broncos and Bears every week.
right.
I take more stock in what they were able to do the week before against the Chiefs than the game they actually won against the Broncos.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
But it is what it is.
I think there's a slimmer chance for the Jets. Although if I had to bet money on it, they're not making the playoffs, and so they may as well just get some experience under their belt, and wait for Aaron Rodgers and his 40-year-old Achilles heel.
Yeah. Well, Aaron Rodgers feels that he's going to be back by the end of the season.
Sure.
He's going to heal quicker than any man or woman has ever healed from an Achilles injury.
Well, you always heal quicker in the darkness. Yes,
Right.
yes.
Yeah, and as long as he gets the vaccination debate, the Travis Kelce out of the way,
Right.
before he
Get
comes
that
back.
done now. Get
Actually,
that
he's
done now.
gonna-
Out of the way.
He's going to have it. He's
Yeah,
going to
when-
have it with Taylor Swift.
When is the Chiefs off week? They could do it
Yeah.
during their bye week.
13th, I believe. So
There
it's
we go.
December. It's the first weekend of December.
I'm just hoping that Taylor
But
Swift.
he wants to be back by then.
Well, I hope Taylor Swift breaks up with Travis Kelce right before the playoffs.
Well, according to a lot of people, a lot of speculation is that Taylor Swift already broke up with Travis Kelce because she was not at the Chiefs-Vikings game this past
Oh,
Sunday.
all right. Well, I did not know
So
that.
yeah,
I learn
and
something every day.
as it turns out, and this is the truth. All right, this isn't a joke. There were a ton of Swifties that bought tickets to go to in Minnesota
Well-
to go to the game, and she wasn't there. So they were all utterly disappointed
He's
that
in-
they had to sit through a football game without seeing Taylor
Without
Swift.
seeing
So
Taylor
he's
Swift, yeah.
injured too. He's questionable for Thursday nights.
Right. Well, they're going out.
Oh, okay.
So the questionable is his availability,
Is it?
not his.
Gotcha.
Not his.
Gotcha. Well,
Right.
you know, we shall see. We shall see.
We shall see. Yes.
Yeah.
Is there anything else actually going on in football?
Well, not a whole hell of a lot, really. I mean, some teams are winning, some teams are losing, some teams are playing well, some teams are the Giants,
or the Jets.
or the Jets. Well, I mean, the Jets are clearly playing better than the Giants, albeit a slim margin,
Yeah.
San Francisco's the best team in the league, right?
Yeah.
by far.
By far.
By far.
I just want to say
Which means they will not win the Super Bowl, mind you.
I just want to say one other thing about the Jets.
The Phillies will win the Super Bowl.
Please,
Or former Jets. And I know we're a couple weeks behind the time,
That
but
was a
you know,
joke.
Joe Namath was criticizing Zach Wilson
Right.
a few weeks ago.
Wilson Bradford.
Wilson, Sam, Bradford, Zach.
Right.
And then he took his words back, of course,
Retracted.
retracted, yeah. And I just want to say,
He detracted, then he retracted.
yeah, that's actually well said. Love Joe Namath, of course. He's an icon. He is the Jets' highlight
Yep.
in their entire history of their franchise, which is sad.
He was.
Not that he's the highlight, but that there's only one.
Right.
But here's the thing. If Joe Namath wants to talk about the franchise in general
Mhm.
and how it's misrun or this or that, fine. He has no business criticizing any individual within the organization.
Why is
He
that?
should, because he played 50 fucking years ago.
Yeah.
And the game is very different now. And Joe Namath in that context, I think, is about as relevant to football as I am.
Right.
He should just not criticize anyone. I'm glad he took his
I
words
think
back.
you're selling yourself short. I think you're actually a little bit more relevant to football than Joe Namath.
I'm glad he took his words back, but Joe, be quiet. Don't criticize anybody. Criticize the franchise, fine. You're the guy who could do that.
Right.
But don't talk about it.
Don't talk about it.
Just be quiet.
That's stupid. Right. Exactly. Yeah.
And that's all I want to say about the Jets.
That's all you have to say. Yeah, the Giants are another story. It's quite possibly, as we said before, the worst offensive line in the history of the NFL. And that's just not sour grapes that the Giants are doing poorly. It's horrible. It's ridiculous. you have a guy like Evan Neal. All right. Actually, 2 games ago, I should say. So it's about a week and a half ago at this point. The Monday night game against the Seahawks. He actually blocked Darren Waller into out of the way.
At least he blocked somebody.
But he blocked Waller. Yeah. And pushed him off of his block. Right. And then the defensive player that he was blocking sacked Daniel Jones.
Yeah, that was good.
So Evan Neal was responsible for that sack, but not by missing a block, by getting rid of a block that was actually happening.
Right.
And then the next day, he questions Giant fans and calls them burger flippers and hot dog flippers. Look, who the hell are they to talk to him? Yeah. Him? Who's him? Go to hell. Well, you're not an NFL offensive lineman. You are not. The
Giants are playing.
Missed on you. You're Eric Flowers 2.0 is what you are.
Right. That's the point. Is that the Giants have had a long history of drafting with high draft picks, not very good offensive linemen. Now, I will say this: a recent draft pick in Andrew Thomas has shown to be, I think, potentially one of the best left tackles in the league. He's been out.
He's been out, right?
And everybody else is playing in a different position. We have
John Jacob Jingleheimer-Smith's actually not bad.
Not bad.
And he's a rookie, and he's not bad. So that's fine. That's fine. Ben Bredesen has been coming along, but you can't do it with. But two of those three are the only three offensive linemen that are halfway decent are out. So
I'll finish the Giants talk with this, and I don't. I'm a Giants fan. I don't want to be negative about them, but you saw it coming towards the end of last year. Yes, they won a playoff game against the Clayton Kershaw of the NFL and the Minnesota Vikings. They're not great. They're a mediocre team at best, and they're far less than mediocre right now.
Right.
So what that tells me is that the chemistry of an NFL team, the makeup of an NFL team, is really, really a sensitive, set of circumstances. And, obviously you got to give this coaching staff a pass a little bit based on what they were able to do last year. But if you really honestly looked at this Giants team, you sort of saw this coming.
Right.
Their schedule this year is so much harder than it was at the beginning of last year. And I thought they'd win 7 games. I don't know what my prediction was, but it's going to be hard for them to win 3 or 4 games this year.
I honestly think I honestly would not be shocked if they go 1-16.
They could lose out. So
the worst, and that would be the worst record pretty much ever for the Giants.
I think the issue with the Giants is that
I think it would be.
And look, this isn't just the Giants. If you look at the NFL right now, the quality of play by the offensive line across the board has been very bad.
Very bad.
I mean, there's a lot of quarterbacks that have been put in harm's way. And we're looking at, somebody like Joe Burrow and to a lesser extent, Daniel Jones. I mean, Daniel Jones has been sacked more times in less number of games than Andrew Luck has.
He got sacked 11 times in the last. 10 times.
11, whatever
if it's what somebody else, then he got sacked.
I tried to pull it up before, so the numbers aren't exact. So I'm spitballing it, but I'm within 5. Okay, I'm in a close range. The average number of quarterback pressures over the course of a season I'm sorry, I take that back. That's not what it was. The highest number of pressures last season on any one quarterback for the entire season, over the entire season, was like 211 or something like that.
Jones is up to what?
Jones
175?
is on pace to have 324 pressures.
That's not good.
No. It's insane.
Well, this is what made Andrew Luck quit. This is why Joe Burrow is constantly hurt. Look, I hope Daniel Jones is it sounds like he's going to be okay, and he may even play this week. But the reality of it is that we don't really know if Daniel Jones at his best can be a serviceable quarterback on a team that has a really good offensive line with a running game where he can check down and do what Daniel Jones does best. He's not the worst quarterback in the league by any means. But I also think that he's shell-shocked, and nobody is going to react well being put back there to take the abuse that he's taken. And look, I'm not sure I want Saquon Barkley coming back. I'm not sure I want these Giants are going to have to be really careful to protect whoever they put under center. That's for sure.
I'm going to go out on a limb right now and say that whether Daniel Jones is okay to go or not on Sunday, he's not going to go. And I'm not saying that that's going to be a team decision or a Brian Dable decision. It might even just be a Daniel Jones decision. Okay, sorry, coach, my neck still hurts. I got to sit out, right? Because one of the best defenses, or I should say the best defense in the league when it comes to pressuring the quarterback, is Buffalo, and that's who they're playing.
Yeah.
And if he got pressured, he got sacked 11 times a week and a half ago against the Seahawks, and they're nowhere near as pressuring of a defense as the Bills are. What's he going to do? Get sacked 30 times next Sunday night?
If he can go, though, he's going to go.
He's going to go.
Because he's the offense right now.
You're right.
Saquon is still out, and
if he doesn't go, whether it's a decision,
if he
or
doesn't
not,
go,
like,
it'll be because he's hurt.
right. If he doesn't go, well, I'll change it to that. If he doesn't go, clearly, if he's not going, they have to bring up Tommy DeVito.
Yeah, who's their backup?
Danny DeVito?
It's Danny DeVito.
He was born right around
They have to
here.
bring up Danny DeVito. Yes, Danny DeVito was born. Honestly, Danny DeVito was born only about a mile or so away from
Yeah,
me.
he's ready to go.
He's ready to go.
So if you're Danny DeVito, the backup
do
quarterback,
you know? Does anybody in this audience know Danny DeVito? All right.
he was here about 20 minutes ago.
He was
So-
here. You missed him. He was here.
So
earlier.
Danny Bradford,
They're asking for you too.
Danny Bradford.
DeVito is the backup.
If they
He
bring up
doesn't
Tommy-
want to go in.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
He's going to go, Danny, you're feeling good, right?
Danny.
You're going in, right, Danny? I don't know, man.
I don't
The neck's
know.
still a little.
I gotta go.
Please,
I gotta
Danny, I got a wife and kids.
I
Please.
think this week the Giants should start Evan Neal at quarterback. Then he would know what he is actually
What he's
doing
actually doing to the
to the
quarterback.
other people that he's paid to protect.
I think they should put him in one of the concession stands and have him flip burgers.
Flip burgers all day,
After he plays.
yeah. After he plays quarterback for one play, because that's what'll last.
Enough of the Giants.
Yeah. Enough of the Giants and Jets.
Well, anyway, they'll have to bring up Tommy DeVito. Okay, Tyrod Taylor is the second string.
Okay. Well, what's wrong with him?
Well, nothing. But my point, they'll have to bring up Danny.
as a backup.
Because you can't lose Tyrod Taylor either.
If Tyrod Taylor, they need a backup because if
They're gonna
Daniel
have
Jones
a
isn't
half-
going, he's inactive.
they're gonna have a half
So
dozen.
basically, whoever goes in is going to get killed.
Right.
And you want to be the third
You're
string guy
going to
instead of the
see
backup.
Tommy DeVito in the game
Right.
this week if Daniel Jones doesn't go. That's what I'm saying.
Jeff Hostetler's going to see that.
Jeff Hotlister. Jeff Hotlister. Jeff Hostetler should show up and suit up this week.
He's the only one who can take that kind of punishment.
What'd you call him back in 30-something years ago?
The UPS driver.
UPS driver, yes. He came in and he
All right.
took a licking.
Yeah, either way, it's
kept on
gonna
taking
be-
it.
1990.
It's going to be ugly for the Giants. It's going to be.
Well, we have the one or two fans out there that are that old. They can reference.
Yeah,
that.
there they go.
Exactly.
All right.
So,
All
anyway,
right.
so
What's next?
San Francisco, yes, you're right, is the best team. And you know what?
And the Eagles are right there.
The Eagles are
Yep.
there. San Francisco and Philly, yeah, but they can't. Who's the best team from? All right, never mind. I was going to say, who's the best team from the AFC? It doesn't matter who the best team from the AFC is. We know the Chiefs are going to go to the Super Bowl. Whether they're the best team or not.
I think the AFC is a little bit of a crapshoot. I think on any given day, it's the Chiefs, it's the Bills, it's the Dolphins. I mean, the Bengals, who knows? Time will tell if they're back on track. They certainly look like they were this past weekend.
What about Miami?
That's what I just said. Them.
Oh, you did say
yeah.
Miami.
So I mean,
I don't listen to you.
Yeah, I know. Miami had a bad game.
He only listens to the first two teams that you name, and then
Right.
he goes.
Then I zone out. I think about them,
But again, Miami, you have to worry about Tua staying
Yeah,
healthy.
yeah. And the Chiefs, you have to worry about the referees. So yeah.
No,
And
the
you know
Chiefs
what?
don't have to worry about the referees.
Chiefs-
Teams they're
and-
playing have to worry about the referees.
And listen, they may not yet be considered in the upper echelon, but I think sort of the dark horse team that is maybe a little better than people think, but definitely tougher is Seattle.
Well, they're in the NFC, but yes.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's
They
right.
used
Sorry.
to be in the AFC.
Yeah, it used
Yeah.
to be. Right.
So you're not wrong.
Yes.
But yeah, it's
Entirely.
kind of.
Jim Zorn.
I
and Steve
think what I
Larson.
said is true.
Jim
They're
Zorn
just,
and Steve
they're just not a
Larson
dark horse.
were in the AFC, yes.
anymore.
I think, yeah. I look. I think the dark horse in the AFC. It's yet to be determined. We don't know. There's a lot of teams that I think this year, especially the first three games, are not a barometer for where teams are at. Are the Chargers what they were?
Hell no.
Who knows?
Chargers look like crap.
Yeah, but they've been at times they've looked like they could be the team that they were.
Staley will be if they don't improve. Staley's out, and Keenan Thompson or whatever the whoever the offensive coordinator that came
Right.
from Dallas.
Bill Hader, yes.
Bill Hader will be.
Bill Hader will be in, yeah.
Okay. So,
And I think ahead of Seattle, I think in the NFC, you have the Lions, who had one bad game. I wasn't necessarily sold on them, but from what I've seen, they're a team that's getting better every week. And
They are.
I wouldn't want to play them in playoff games, especially if they can manage somehow, which they might, to get home field.
Yeah,
They've got to be the favorites to win that
Packers are not-
division now. The Packers got
Packers
Oh
are
yeah,
not
the
looking like anything.
Lions
Jordan
are
Love
winning the NFC North by far.
Jordan Love is now looking like the third guy in the Favre Rodgers.
I think these next
The
2 weeks.
the Bears are
Which-
shit, and the Vikings are. I mean, literally, the Lions could sleepwalk for the rest of the season and win the division because Justin Jefferson is going to be out now, which means Minnesota is very highly likely they're going to try to move Kirk Cousins.
Yeah, not a doubt.
And then that's the writing on the wall for the rest of that season. They pick up one of these new quarterbacks. Because next year's quarterback class is looking like
It's a race for Caleb Williams.
Yeah, it's Caleb Williams.
And look,
there's
if
a few others
Shedeur,
too. So
I don't think he's going to come out, but Shedeur Sanders is going to be a hell of a quarterback.
Yeah.
And that might be 2 years from now.
it'll be 2 years from now. He's going to want to play with his father. He's going to want to play with his father.
Well,
really.
Daddy said he's not coming out.
And I'll tell you who might be
Or
better.
he's not coming out unless he's number one.
Prime said that.
Yeah, Prime said that.
What did he call you and tell you?
He did.
He texted me.
He texted you.
He told me to tell him.
All right.
But I'll tell you who might be better than Caleb Williams, and I know people think I'm nuts for saying this. Bo Nix is good. He's really
Yeah,
Yeah, he is. He's
that Oregon team is going to win the net.
Wait,
they're-
Monix?
They're going to win it this year.
You said Monix.
Who?
Bonix. Bonix.
Bonus.
We don't know what his last name
Monix.
is. Bonix.
Oh, that was Monix. Oh, that was Fred. That was Varsity Blues.
Bonix Monix?
I have no idea what
Oh,
you
it's
guys are
Monix.
talking about. You ruined my big pick. Oregon's going to win the national championship.
Really?
Yes.
You heard it here first, folks. Oregon's winning the national championship this year.
Yes.
All right, so San Francisco's the best team. Dallas is Dallas.
Dallas, like I said, they're going to win 11 games and get knocked out of the second round of the playoffs.
We'll see what happens with Buffalo.
Well, I mean,
Miami will be good if Tua can stay healthy.
Well, let's
And
think
the,
about
and the Eagles are
And the Eagles are the Eagles.
going to give. It's going to be the Eagles and the 49ers again.
let's think about Dallas for 1 second here. I got a feeling we got a couple of Dallas comments on here.
Yeah.
We do. Whatchamacallit? Well, really quick before I get to Mr. Scardino's comments. Whatchamacallit? Dallas. Let's think about what they've won. They've won what? They've won 3 games. They've lost 2.
Yes.
Okay. They beat the Giants. They beat the Jets, and they beat the Patriots. Basically, the worst 3 teams.
No, 3 of the worst 6.
3 of the worst 6 teams.
Well, yeah, I'm not sure the Jets fall into that category.
The Jets are close. But
Yeah.
two of those teams are the
Right.
2 worst teams
Right.
in the NFL.
Right.
Okay. They lost to the Cardinals.
They did.
Okay. And they just were completely manhandled by the 49ers. So, I mean, while I don't think that Dallas isn't anywhere near the Giants and the Patriots level by any means, clearly because they beat the crap out of
based solely on the rest of their schedule.
them. Yeah, it's.
But I will say this about the Cowboys.
They're not as good as their record was
Their
a week
defense will win them a couple games.
Of those 4 lousy teams that they played,
Yes.
they really only played down to 1,
Yeah.
which they historically do.
Right.
So they beat 3 out of the 4 teams that they should have,
Mhm.
and had a letdown against
Right.
against
Right.
Arizona.
But they also have 2 games against the Eagles. So if that goes to pan out, obviously they'll lose both of those games. And
They seem to match up okay against the Eagles. Though.
Well, it's a
So-
divisional game. Any divisional
Yeah.
game
the
is going to
Eagles
be.
are a good team, so maybe they'll
And
rise
they'll
to the
probably,
occasion.
who knows if they'll beat the Commodores.
All right,
Right,
what
so
is,
we got first of all,
what
we
does
have
Scardino say?
Mr. Scardino says Niners best team in football. Yes, we agree.
Okay.
Yeah.
Absolutely agree. Michael Penix. Oh, Penix. There you go. From Washington, he said.
Okay.
Right. Is that what you're talking about?
No, I'm talking about Bo Nix from Oregon.
Bo Nix.
Bo
Oregon.
Nix.
Yes.
Yeah, the quarterback.
Not Bonix. Not
No.
Monix.
No,
Bo
Bo Nix.
Nix.
Yeah, I did stutter.
There you go. Michael Penix from Washington. And then he said, there we go.
There we are.
All right.
Hi,
We're
everybody.
More operating difficulties.
Don't
here.
touch anything, John.
I'm not touching it. Well, it's
just read it. Don't
it's
put it
this
up. On
1994 track.
don't read anything. Just put it up on. Don't put it up on the screen. Just read it.
Yeah.
And there we go.
There we go.
And Cowboys have the hardest schedule, and we're lucky to finish 9-8.
I think they'll.
What do you think about
I
that?
think they'll win 10 or 11 games.
No, I think they'll. I think 6 or 7 losses.
You know what?
They'll be in double.
I got to be honest with you. I don't necessarily disagree with Dave.
I mean, I don't care. I wouldn't.
I know. Well, you care more than the three.
Well, they'll probably win
two
one
of us,
against
but-
Philly. They'll probably beat
They'll
the
win a
Giants
couple games that
again.
they shouldn't win too.
Yeah. I think they'll be
So-
in double-digit wins.
10-7, 11-6. Yeah, I can see them being 10-7.
I think once they get Kirk Cousins, they're going to be good.
Right. And then Jessica Barbera wrote in, "Can the Jets beat the Eagles
No, no
to be 1-12 all time?" Yeah, so basically, she's telling us that we should announce that the Jets are playing the Eagles this week, and they've never beaten the Eagles. They're 0-12 against the
The
Eagles.
battle of the worst fan bases in the history of all
Battle
sports.
of the two worst fan bases. And one of them and two of the fan bases are sitting at that table right over there.
Yeah. Never won anything.
Well, once. So, anyway,
All right.
all right. So, Dave, we were sorry that you couldn't get down here tonight. We actually wanted to bring you on the show.
He actually doesn't exist. He's,
We actually wanted to bring you on the show. Honestly, we feel like you're a part of the show anyway. So
yeah, we wanted you to host it so we could go drink.
we
beer.
wanted you to sit here and talk while we went over to the bar and had a few other beers. But anyway,
I don't know. The Cowboys had a letdown.
they had a letdown. All right.
I think this just proved how good the Niners are, and if they stay healthy, they've got a team that can win it all.
I agree.
Yeah.
And one last thing, and I heard this today, and I really didn't think about this, but how severely underdrafted was Brock Purdy?
Who?
Brock Purdy.
Who?
Brock Purdy.
Exactly.
Bonus.
That answers your question.
Yeah, exactly.
I mean, I about as underdrafted at least this based on this season alone. I mean, he's gonna. Time will tell, but he's no underdrafted as for Tom Brady.
No. Obviously, Tom Brady still holds the record for the. He should have went number one based on his career.
But yeah.
Sorry, Jet fans.
We shall see.
Well,
sorry,
if they win the Super Bowl this year,
Yeah.
And he was last, right? He
Last.
was the last guy.
Mr.
picked.
Irrelevant.
Again, he's not the same career, obviously, as Tom Brady, because no one will ever have that career again.
That's never going to happen.
But you can make a case if they win the Super Bowl, or maybe if he wins 2, you might say he's the most underdrafted, just because he was last. Brady was what, 6th round? Right? Is that it? 142 or whatever.
It was 8th round.
Brady was
Brady was
6th round. Brady was
Yeah.
6th. He was picked 199 overall.
But it was 12th round.
Yeah.
So,
Back when they used to have 24 rounds in the draft.
but I mean, it
So
certainly,
they only had 16.
it certainly
too, so-
seems like he's not a fluke.
No.
But how much of that is the great team? Right? Because look at Garoppolo has a great record when he plays and when he stays healthy.
when he plays, right?
But we see what's going on with him.
It also proves that even the experts don't know shit
Right.
Yeah.
about who is actually going to perform in the NFL and who isn't.
So yeah, they don't know that, which means we certainly don't know.
But Brock Purdy's looking pretty good.
Looking pretty good.
Pretty good. I still think they need another. I think they still think they need another wideout, but time will tell.
We'll see. I mean, they seem to be doing it with what they have. So
Yeah,
doing it well.
We'll see. We'll see.
And just so you're aware, and if you
What's-
noticed this, but
what's next?
I am wearing the jersey of Mr. Shane Falco.
It's actually Edie Falco.
It's actually Edie Falco now. Shane Falco from the Replacements.
Since we're in New Jersey.
Since I'm hiding from being a Giant fan, but I had to wear the cap at least. So there you go.
All right.
All right. So,
So that's football.
What's
that's
next?
football.
We want to do Are They For Real?
I think we should do an Are They For Real? I think we should.
We'll do Are They For Real, and we'll talk a little bit of
favorite section.
baseball.
I think we should.
We have to play
We have music for Are They For
We
Real?
have music for Are They For Real? Yes.
which no one will hear but John.
What?
Well, the audience will hear.
You ought to do that with the video will hear it. Yeah.
I don't hear
So,
anything.
All right.
we have
I'll let you know when to start talking.
we
How's that?
have a real mixed bag of Are They For Real.
There you go. All right.
What is real?
What is real? How do you define real? If you're talking about what you can feel, what you can smell, what you can taste and see, then real is simply electrical signals interpreted by your brain.
Pretty sure
point on that's real.
you're not real.
For real, for real, for real. Yeah.
You for real? For real? For real?
It's a crazy Eddie commercial.
For real?
Yes, absolutely.
What is real?
All right. Are they for real? I hope the long bed is queued up because we got a mixed bag today. A little bit of this and a little bit of that. A lot of football, actually, which is where we will start as soon as John is done adjusting the music to the appropriate level. We're good? All right. So let's see. Are they for real? Now, when we do the segment, are they for real can mean a lot of different things. It could mean, are they going to win something? Are they going to be good? Are they going to get into the playoffs? Whatever. Right. So I'll explain each as we go through. All right. 2 undefeated teams in the NFL, Philly and San Fran. They meet, I think it's week 14.
Yes.
Which team is more for real as far as being undefeated at that point?
Which team is more likely to still be undefeated?
Undefeated when they meet?
San Francisco.
San Francisco.
Let's ask our audience, which team out of San Francisco and the Eagles are more likely to be undefeated when they meet week 14? 49ers or Eagles? Let's hear it for the 49ers.
49ers!
Let's hear it for the Dirty Birds. All right, we got it.
All right, 49ers are more for real. Okay.
The
Giants are not going to be undefeated in week 14.
Who think the Giants will go 1-16? Yeah.
Who here thinks the Giants are going to go 1-16 this year?
Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams. Caleb Williams.
All right. What's sad is that I have more faith in the Giants than you guys do,
Well,
and I'm the Jets fan in this.
That's why. Yeah.
That's
All right.
exactly why.
Yeah.
Let's stay with football. Rookie quarterbacks.
Hold on one second.
Oh,
Dave Scardino, Niners.
Niners. Yeah, it's a consensus. Rookie quarterback C.J. Stroud looks good.
Yes.
Bryce Young on a lousy team, but Anthony Richardson has looked good when he's on the field, but he missed a game with a concussion, and apparently he's going to be out another 4 weeks.
Yeah. Puts himself in harm's way a lot.
So which is the most for real quarterback as far as who's going to have the best season when it's all said and done? Will Stroud continue? Will Young get better and surpass him? Young was the number 1 pick. Will Anthony Richardson surprise everybody? His numbers, he's throwing about, I think, 56% completions, which is pretty much what he did in college.
Right.
He's using his physicality. If he stops running into people,
He's got to stop running into people.
Yeah.
I think this year Stroud, I think long-term Anthony Richardson, if he can learn to sit in the pocket a little bit more and use his incredible escapability when he needs to and get down and out of the way.
If he can do his best to stop doing his Andrew Luck impersonation.
Right. Well, Andrew Luck didn't run as much, but my point
No, as far as getting hurt.
Right.
Luck would stand in and
I think it's a lot of
these
these quarterbacks. I think Stroud has been pretty impressive. I think he's on a better team. I think Richardson, though, with the running, if they can keep Jonathan Taylor and they can keep the running game, I think he has the ability. He's on a good team in a system that fits him.
Right.
And I think he adds a dynamic to that team that they're missing. So I think long term, I like Richardson.
Yeah, he's a physical freak.
Yeah.
And if they can
Reminds me of Randall Cunningham.
bigger and stronger.
Right.
Bigger and stronger.
If they can mold him and
Maybe
frame his game a little bit.
Dante Culpepper maybe is a better.
Like a hybrid between the two, really. I'll tell you mine. I mean, I was a big Anthony Richardson fan of the 3 coming out of the draft.
Had the most potential coming out, is what
Absolutely.
everybody said.
Absolutely. And I agree 100% with Harry. Right now, this season, as far as those rookie QBs go, I'm a big, which is what you're asking here.
Yeah, to the end of the season.
To the end of this season, I'm a big CJ Stroud.
I think it's because of the team and the situation he's in too.
Yeah,
I think that has a lot to do with it.
I think long term, to your point, Harry, I'm worried that if Stroud does well this season and attendance is up and things look good,
could he be another Mac Jones?
Well, they won't necessarily build around him as they should. They go, hey, we're looking good. We got our good quarterback, and then he'll stagnate or end up getting beat up.
Right.
All right. Let's talk about Bill Belichick.
Bill Belichick.
Let's do that.
Bill
Let's
Belichick.
talk about Bill Belichick. Shall we talk about Bill Belichick? Let's talk about Bill Belichick.
17 wins away from, I think, tying or passing Don Shula for most ever.
Tying
Tying Don
17
Shula.
away from tying Don Shula.
So that means he's 18?
18
All right.
or 17 and a half.
17 and a half.
Is Bill Belichick A, for real, in that he will be the winningest coach? B, will he do it with the Patriots? Because they're not very good and might not be very good for a couple of years.
Yeah,
and 17 wins could be 3 seasons.
Exactly my point.
I am going to say this. He is going to stick it out. He's going to stick with the Patriots, and he's going to be able to win 17 games. It could take 4 years. He is going to pass Shula, and he's going to because he's determined to do it.
I think he will. I think he'll coach till he's 82 just to get those 17 wins if he has to, or 18. But it's if he stays with the Pats in the condition that team is in right now, it's going to take at least 4 years to get there.
The best thing Bill Belichick could do is be honest and say he is not the best right now at staffing the team that he's coaching. He needs somebody to step in and be
he's
able to take that
micromanaged
over.
for way too many years. The people that he had that have gone on and retired or moved on to being head coaches, which of course we know at some point he's going to get Josh McDaniels back. Right?
But even right now,
we know that, right? He's going to be
right. Yeah, of course. Give it 2 years.
Mark Davis is going to fire him, and he's going to go back and be the offensive coordinator in New England. So,
Will he outlast Robert Kraft?
Yeah,
maybe.
Yeah.
You got a couple.
Here's the question: who's the best coach of all time, Bill Belichick or Don Shula? Come on, it's Bill Belichick.
Belichick or Don Shula? It's Bill Belichick. Don Shula right now. If you could
Belichick
communicate with him,
year.
he would say Bill Belichick is the best coach.
And everyone here is nodding. You can't see it.
You can't see it.
All right.
Hold on 1 second. On the agree with Harry 100%. Anthony Richardson has something special. That was Scardino, and also he said he'll take Bill in Dallas.
Yeah.
No.
Well, that's my point.
And if Dallas continues down the path that they started against the Cardinals and looks for a lot of the season the way they looked against the 49ers, you might just get that.
I mean, Bill Belichick's like a retiree shopping at the dollar store.
Right.
It's like you can't, I understand where you're going, but come on.
I'm going to go half and half here. I think he's going to get there. I don't think it's necessarily going to be with the Patriots.
It might be with Dallas.
I think
and
he
make
might
Dave
end
happy.
up somewhere else for those last 5 or 6
Make you happy.
I mean, what if?
Yeah.
Because it'll come around like finally he's coaching the team that you actually like.
Yeah, I have to like him then.
What a wonderful story is if Bill Belichick returns to where he started.
I wouldn't mind that.
Which is the New York Giants.
Yeah.
Come back to the Giants and win another Super Bowl. Hey, let's remember, folks, he won 2 with the Giants.
He did win, yeah. With the Super Bowls he's won, he won 2 of them with the Giants. Everybody says Tom Brady has the most rings. He has 7. No, Bill Belichick has 8. So,
all right. Let's go to a little college football now.
College football.
I'm going to give you a list of teams. We're going to pick 4 that are going to the NCAA playoff. Mm-hmm. Obviously, you're picking Oregon, who's on this list. So here they are: Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, Ohio State, Oklahoma, Washington, Oregon, Penn State, USC, and Louisville. They're all undefeated. So is North Carolina, but fuck North Carolina. They don't make the list.
Oregon, Georgia, Michigan, and USC.
Oregon, Georgia, Louisville, and Oklahoma.
Louisville, number 13 right now, is going. I think it's going to be Georgia. I hate Michigan so much. I think it's going to be Georgia, Oregon, Florida State, and USC.
There you have it.
All right, there we go.
So we agree on. We all 3 of us agree on 2.
Yeah. All right, continuing in that vein. Who's more for real as far as someone outside of the SEC winning the national championship? Will it be the Pac-12 or the Big Ten?
Pac-12.
Pac-12 more likely to win the championship, not the SEC.
Pac-12 or the Big Ten? Pac-12.
Pac-12. All right. And I got one saved up for next year.
All right.
Once the Pac-12 is officially demolished.
Yes.
But I'm saving that. I realized that was.
Let's see. We're going to be doing this next.
Yes. Well, 3 years. We got to get to 4 and then 5.
Oh my God, that's right. I think that's it. Let me just check my list here.
That's Are They For Real?
That's it. That's all I got.
That's Are They
For
Real?
No, wait. Sorry, one more. WNBA.
One
Liberty are down 1-0. They're playing tonight against the Aces. It's the 2 best teams in the league. The matchup everybody wanted. The Aces are up 0-1. Who's more for real? They're going to win it.
Who's going to win it? Who?
Liberty's coming back from a game down.
Liberty's coming back from
all
a game
right.
down.
I want the Liberty to win. Aja Wilson, I think, is going to go down right behind Cynthia Cooper as maybe the best player to ever play the game. She's the differentiator. Brianna Stewart is way too unpredictable.
Brianna Stewart is very unpredictable.
I want the Liberty, but I think Vegas is tough.
So it's going to be Vegas.
I concur.
She is.
I want the Liberty to win.
She is a difference maker. She can control the game.
If Brianna Stewart plays her game every day, then
she's
Liberty
great.
can win.
She's
Liberty
the
can win.
MVP, but
Both teams had little hiccups in the semis, but I think Las Vegas is the better team. And I think the better team's going to win.
Yeah, I think, unfortunately for the Liberty, I think Vegas is going to win.
All right. And that.
But that's based on one game, but we'll see.
It's based on how I perceive them through the whole year. But yes, you're right.
Yeah.
And head to head, the Liberty beat them at the end of the season, but it was a little bit of wasn't as big a game for Vegas as it was for Liberty.
Right. Yeah, Liberty had a little tougher road there. Right?
Exactly.
All right, and that's Are They For Real?
And that's Are They For Real for this show tonight. All right.
Are they for real? Yes, and they're spectacular.
That's our Are They For Real?
All right.
Thank you.
All right, where are we going next? That's the bowler?
Baseball.
Baseball have been very good to me.
It's the playoffs.
Hold on. Baseball have been very
Who's
good
winning?
to me.
Philly beat Atlanta 10-2. It should be 3-0, but they're up 2-1. And the top of the seventh with one out, Houston is ahead of Minnesota. So
Houston's ahead of Minnesota.
I was completely wrong in the
It's
the
1-1.
wild
It's
card
1-1,
round.
right? But the
I mean, let's continue. Are they for real? Is Texas for real?
I believe they are.
I do too.
I think so too.
Are the Phillies for real?
I believe. Unfortunately, believe.
Well,
they
again,
are.
what is the?
Well,
are they going to win this next series?
the
Are they
thing.
going to go to the World Series?
I don't think anybody would ever say, okay, neither the Dodgers nor the Braves will be representing the National League in the World Series. And if I had to say it right now, I don't think either will.
I don't think either will either. And I honestly think that Arizona's actually going to the World Series.
You think Arizona's the best team in the National League?
No, but I think they're going to the World
now, they're the
Series.
hottest team.
Yeah, I tend to agree. I think I
It's
think
gonna
I did
be- and
pick
it
them
looks
in the
like it's
wild card round,
Yeah, it looks-
and they are getting hot, and that's all you got to do is get hot.
Look at the Phillies
And that's
last year.
part of the problem with the
well, and it looks
Baseball
like
playoffs.
Phillies were a couple of games over 500 last year, and they went to the World Series.
Right.
And it looks like it's going to be the Battle of Texas in the American League. So, who do you got winning the World Series?
The Rangers.
Pete?
I think I got to agree.
I think right now, looking at what they're doing, I agree as well. I will say this. I think it's going to be the Phillies and the Rangers, and I think it's a crapshoot. Who's winning the World Series, everybody?
Who's winning the World Series?
What do you got? You got the Astros?
Rangers.
Rangers?
Astros.
Rangers, Phillies, Devils.
Devils are winning the World
all right.
Series.
I would love
The
to see
Devils
the
are winning the World Series. Here we go.
We got the
You heard it here, folks.
We got 2 for the Astros, 1 for the Devils, and 3 for the Quebec Nordiques. 2 Devils.
Two Devils.
That's right.
There you go. I honestly think the Toronto Argonauts.
That's right. The Houston Rough Riders, or the Edmonton Rough
Edmonton
Riders.
Rough Riders.
Yeah, Edmonton. Oh, the Saskatchewan.
Saskatchewan Rough Riders.
Rough
Yeah,
Riders.
that's right. Every Edmonton team is the Oilers.
Right.
Yeah, they're all the Oilers. Yeah. And Warren Moon is the quarterback. For
That's
the,
why I
Edmonton
said
Oilers,
Houston.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
All right.
exactly.
So that'll be
Rangers.
the.
It's the Rangers. It's going to be the
It
Rangers.
shakes down that way. It'll be the end of an interesting.
So Pete,
Here in
you
baseball.
have a hot take on the playoffs.
All right. Well, here's the problem.
Here's the problem, folks.
Major League Baseball is trying desperately to become more relevant, get back in the good graces of many people, and they're failing because they're going about they're changing the wrong things, which is they're changing the playoffs and changing the playoff format.
Yeah.
We've had 16 different changes over all the years, many of which were good, like the creation of the World Series and all that stuff. Then we got into the wild card, which if you're a purist like me, you don't like the wild card. But when we had 3 division winners and 1 wild card, that was great.
Yep.
8 teams in the playoffs, that was a good system. That was fine. Having 3 divisions is the best. It just doesn't work out with 4 divisions. There's no good way to do it.
Yeah.
But given the fact that now 2 years we've had the current playoff format, there have been 8 3-game series.
Right.
7 of them have been 2-0.
Which
There's
is
only
which is
one-
which is surprising.
which is surprising. There's been only one that went to 3 games, and that was the Mets.
And that was the
last year,
Mets and the Padres last year.
That is a failure on the part of Major League Baseball.
And correct me if I'm not wrong, it's almost 50-50 as far
Correct
as
you.
the road team.
Correct you if you're not wrong. That's
If
what
I'm
you
not,
just said.
if I'm not wrong.
If I can figure out how, I will.
50% of those winners have been road teams,
Yeah.
which in a series where you do not play one game at home seems ridiculous.
So that is a failure in the playoff.
Right.
Now, I understand. Look, the DH isn't going away.
No.
The 12-game baseball playoffs is not 12-team baseball playoffs is not going away. That's
You're
where
going to
we're
see
at,
more teams before you
and
see
that's
less.
what we're going to say. So here's what baseball needs to do: stop screwing around with the playoff format.
Just have a home run derby.
No. Given the fact that John, that would actually one player from every team
That's
gets
right.
to bat.
That's right.
All right, here's John. Correct me if I'm wrong, or answer me this question: how many days during the regular season is interleague play going on?
Every day.
Every day,
Every
interleague
day.
play is going on. The novelty is over.
I agree.
Right? Bragging rights of intercity or interstate teams, right, is still there, but it's over, right? So that is really not an important thing anymore.
Not at all.
The argument, oh, you can't see these teams unless there's interleague play. That's bogus. You can see every team you want. And if you can't afford the package, you just go down to the bar or you get it illegally or whatever. So anybody can see any team anytime.
That sentence out of context. Yeah.
Yeah, well, it's true of more things than baseball, but in this context, all right.
You can't afford the package.
You
Just go down to the bar.
Honestly, you can if you don't mind watching computer graphics and everything else,
you can watch the live stream, yeah.
every live stream graphic, every
Yeah.
live
All
stream
right.
game you want.
So I want to hear the solution.
All right. Also consider the fact that the DH is now in both leagues and is not going away.
Right.
So now, between the National League and the American League, there is no demonstrable, practical, or difference between those leagues. They all play by the same rules. Pitchers don't hit anymore.
Right.
So what the team needs to do, or what the league needs to do to evolve, is not change the playoff format. They need to realign, but not really realign. They need to abolish the 2-league system.
You're going where I went 2 years ago.
Get
when I
rid
talked
of it.
About this.
Take all the teams in the AL East
Ah.
and the NL East and make that
Have everybody
the Eastern Division.
play each other a certain amount of times.
Do the same thing in the Central. Do the same thing in the West. And then at the end of the regular season, top 4 teams in each division go to the playoffs. You keep the same kind of format they have now. You have 4 byes, the 3 division winners and the 2nd or 4th best team in baseball all get that first round bye. Everything else is the same. Now, you can go to 5 games if you want for the first round, or just keep it at 3 or whatever.
But do you think that's going to stop teams who are at the top from not having games towards the end of the season that are meaningful, and those teams fighting for those bottom spots?
It
That
depends on
advantage
how
is still going to be there.
Depends on how far ahead they are.
One thing I think is going to happen before something like that would happen, and it's already been talked about. They need 2 other teams. They need 2 expansion.
No,
teams.
they don't.
No.
Wait,
to do what they're going to do that they've been talking about, they need 2 expansion.
All right,
teams.
let me finish my run through here.
I'll go for it.
So here's the other thing.
Pause on that.
We've got 30 teams, 10 in each division under this new plan.
All right.
Right. So I'm in favor of the unbalanced schedule. So each team plays 19 times, I think, the other teams in their division, something like that. So instead of 19, let's make it 11. So 99 games, right? You play each team in your division. There are 10 of them. So minus you is 9. That's 99 games.
Right.
That leaves how many?
That leaves 63.
63. 63 divided by 3 is
21.
21. There are 20 other teams in the other 2 divisions. You play everybody 1 3-game series. Every team plays every team in the league at least 3 games. Now, you do have the 1 series left over, and you can assign
Everybody
that.
plays everybody.
You play the 9 teams in your division,
And then every
11 times, and then every other team.
So you get 1 4-game series.
So
Or two 4-game
no,
series.
you just play a second, third game series
a
against.
division. Still is a tougher
Or
division.
2 3-game series and a 2-game series.
But
Whatever.
what you don't get.
However
is-
it works out, 11 games.
You play
What you don't-
somebody 6 times.
What you
instead of
don't
3.
get with the rankings is the Minnesota Twins. You don't get the Cleveland. You
Well,
don't get
let's-
those Central Division teams having home field.
Well, here's the thing. Now, what this also does is anytime, other than the team that you play 6 times, right? If you split those games 3 and 3, you have to go to the normal tiebreakers.
Right.
Everything else is decided on the field. Seedings are decided. Who won 2 of 3, or who won 6 of 11, or whatever. All that's the tiebreaker.
Games don't end in a tie because everything's odd.
Right. That's all the tiebreakers are decided by on the field. So let's look if we do this. All right. Let's start with the East. Right. You know the 5 teams in the AL East. So who's going to the playoffs? Atlanta, 104 wins. Right.
With the NL East.
Well, we're combining the AL and the AL.
So AL and A.
Right. So Atlanta, Baltimore,
Tampa Bay.
Tampa Bay's at 99.
Philadelphia.
And Philly.
And Philly.
Okay.
At 90, right? Miami doesn't go. They won 84 games. And who else is the other team? Oh, and Toronto doesn't go. They won 89. Would the playoffs be significantly different right now if those 2 teams weren't in it?
Let me ask you one thing. In this new format, do the Yankees fire Brian Cashman?
Yes.
Because if that's the case, then I'm
They have to. Let's look at the Central. We got Minnesota with 87. Right? We got Milwaukee with 92. Now, this is where it gets a little weird.
Yeah,
because you got the Cubs and Cincinnati are the next 2.
So you're combining the Central,
Combining the AL Central and the NL Central.
So you got the AL East, NL East, AL Central, NL Central, and then the West is combined as well.
So Minnesota goes.
You call it the National American League.
Milwaukee goes, and then the Cubs and Cincinnati go.
Yeah.
And look, they were right in the wild card race anyway, right? Arizona with 84 stays out. That's kind of the anomaly.
Are the Rockies still in baseball in this scenario?
They are.
Yes,
they are.
Now in the West,
just because you need them for the numbers.
Houston and Texas have 90 wins. Seattle has 88.
Yeah.
So the Dodgers go, and those 3 teams go, and Arizona stays out. So Seattle gets in.
So in this particular,
it's not much different.
Not much different. Arizona's out, a team that you just picked to win the World Series.
Well, too bad. They should have won more than 84 games.
But they're playing the Dodgers so many times.
Well, that's just
that's
right.
the thing.
I think strength of schedule needs
That's
to be
the other thing. It sort of eliminates that you're in a shit division.
Yeah, a little bit.
Because everybody's playing everybody. You have to play the good teams.
Yeah,
you have to
3
play
games
the
versus 9. There's
You're
less
playing
division.
everybody in your
There's less
division 11 times.
I get it.
So here's where I was going to go with that. I like that. I like that.
Get rid of the 2 leagues. There's no difference
it.
between them anymore.
But here's what I was saying before. There's been talk about 2 other expansion teams. First of all, it's a foregone conclusion that Nashville, Tennessee is going to have a Major League Baseball team.
If you get 2 more teams,
right?
I think everybody
8 divisions of 4.
I think everybody should play everybody an equal number. Anyway,
and that's just but the point. And I agree. This is where I'm going. This is exactly where I'm going.
We're close to this.
We're close to something here.
I'm
okay?
just more in
they're gonna have
favor
2
of
expansion
the
teams.
unbalanced schedule than you are.
And I'm telling you who's going to have the other expansion team. And it's going to be a couple of years after Oakland moves to Las Vegas.
Juneau,
Portland,
or London.
Portland. No, Oakland's going to get
Oakland's
going to get a team back.
Oakland, New Jersey.
Oakland, New Jersey. Yes, Oakland, New Jersey is going to get a team. Anyway, they're going to have 32 teams. There'll be 16 teams in each league. They'll be able to have 4 divisions, whether it's the same thing, the East, North, Central, the East, North, South, West, whatever the hell they do, right? 4 teams each. Okay, Miami's going to go to the South, and the NL East would be the Mets, the Phillies, the Braves, and the Nationals, and so forth, and no one. Remember, the Braves used to be in the National League West.
Yeah, that's the thing. That was my first
even
thought.
though they're in the Southeast.
Even though they're in the Southeast.
That was my first thought, is they should do that. Yeah. But when I looked at the map, it's hard to divide.
It is difficult because there's so many teams east.
There's there's one team that ends
up
playing
better
a lot
than what it currently is. But
here's the thing, though.
Every team just play this.
But then with that 12-game schedule, they're not going to have 17 wild card teams. They're going to have 4 divisional winners and 2 wild card teams.
Well, that's the thing. Right now, the system as it exists, there's 4 teams that don't belong in the playoffs, and that's the second and third wild card team from each league. They don't belong there.
Everybody. Here's my suggestion. Everybody plays everybody an equal amount. Yes, I know that might be either less or more games. It's probably error towards the side of more games. Okay, top 4 teams in each top 8 teams. Okay, make it to the playoffs. 1 plays 8, 2 plays 7, 3, blah blah.
But they're not going back to 8.
First series, I know, but let me tell you.
Oh, okay.
This is what I want. So 8 teams make it. First round is best of 5, and the next rounds are best of 7, and it goes 2-2, 1-1-1, or 2-2-1. That's it. Done. 8 teams is enough. There should not.
I agree. There should be 8.
Exactly.
I agree. There should
Hockey.
be 8.
I agree 100%. There should be 8. There should be. If
And
they do that with 4
everybody
divisions,
should just play everybody.
4 divisional winners, no wild card teams. Start with a 5-game series. Go to a 7-game series. Go to a 7-game series. End of story.
There's no
End of
divisions.
day.
It's just baseball.
It's just baseball.
And yet the top 8 teams, whoever has more, because everybody's playing everybody an equal amount of times.
Right.
You can't have a more democratic system of sports. You can't. That's what they should do.
It's not
The
about
travel
it's not about,
is going to be insane.
It's a lot more travel, yeah.
But-
it's not about being democratic. It's not about being
But you're
correct.
there-
It's
but
not
you're-
about this.
You're not
It's
going one
for.
game and traveling. You're there for.
But it's
3 or 4
all
games.
about the money.
I-
It's
but
all about the
but
money.
think about
Rob
that.
Manfred does not give a shit about anything that we've said here. He just
You
wants to
still-
make more money
but
for.
the Yankees still have the same amount of home games. That
He doesn't
everybody's
care.
yeah.
As long as Major League Baseball's making more
But
money
he can,
in
the
television.
playoffs make money. I get it. You know,
That's it.
I'm telling you, 8 teams is enough.
How does everybody here like the playoff format for baseball right now? What 17 wild card teams that the wild card games go 2-0, and then the teams that actually won 100 games wind up getting knocked out of the playoffs because they were off for a week while these other teams kept playing.
It did.
It pretty much did.
You're obviously a Mets
Look,
fan.
right now, the playoffs are not the playoffs. It's a tournament.
That's right.
There's so many teams. It's a tournament. In the interim, the least they could do is reseed after the first round.
That's right.
So that you don't have the Braves or Phillies playing.
No, I think any of the alternatives that we have here, I think are better. Everybody plays everybody. There's an equal amount of games. There's 8 teams ranked 1 to 8. That's how it goes.
So
Done.
kind of a basketball format,
Right.
But without the 9th and 10th seed.
And no
without
divisions.
the
No
play-in
division.
games.
Not
Yeah.
East and West. Who cares?
East and West, and
Yeah.
story done.
Yeah. There's your interleague at its best.
There you go. All right.
Well, none of these things are going to happen.
No.
Not
But it's
one of
nice
these
to
things
talk
will
about.
happen. So
I'll take any of these over what we currently have.
there you go.
That sounds good.
But
I
so,
just hope the Astros don't.
Again.
again. I don't think it's gonna happen. I think the Rangers will beat them. Rangers are going to go to the World Series. They've been before. They haven't won. So,
I mean,
I would not count
say
the Astros out.
I
I'm
would
not counting
say
them out, but I think
Well,
they're
who,
going to.
who do we want to win? You want the Texas? Who you want to win more than anyone else?
I really don't care, to be quite honest with you. I just would prefer Houston not winning again. I also would prefer the Phillies not winning.
The two
So
teams-
if Texas, and I really don't want the Dodgers to win. So if Texas or Arizona, and I don't want the Braves to win either. So yeah, Texas or Arizona, or Minnesota. And we know Minnesota's not making it past the Astros. So
Right.
Texas or Arizona.
I would say the Diamondbacks or Texas in that order.
I like the Dodgers, but I don't think they're going to make it. And I'm starting to get attached to this Texas team. I'll tell you this. I never thought this would come out of my mouth. I would root for the Phillies. I'm rooting for the Phillies in the NL. I hate Bryce Harper, but I like everybody else on that team. So, sorry, guys.
There you go. Well, there you have it. And there you have it. All right.
And we'll probably be wrong. It'll probably be Minnesota and Arizona.
I think you're right.
All right. What's
Yeah,
next?
that sounds good.
Minnesota and Arizona.
The networks would love that.
Yeah, that sounds. Well, then if that happens, then they'll change the playoffs.
That's right.
We'll say, they'll change the format. Say, hold on, we're going to add an extra game to the series. Winner take all.
Yeah. All right. Finally, well, I don't know what else we have to talk about baseball, but finally, I think we should mention retirement of 2 greats.
Yep.
Miggy.
Yep.
And Tito.
Yeah.
The game is lesser for them, and I know Tito's got some health problems, and of course, we wish him
Great coach and
good health and speedy recovery.
Cleveland gave him a wonderful send off, as
The
I think he well
players
deserves.
wouldn't let him back in the dugout. They
And
made him go out on the field and be
And I'll tell you something.
adulated.
In the last few years, we've seen Albert Pujols and Miguel Cabrera retire. Right,
Pujols retired last year.
Yeah. So maybe 2 of the most underrated players of all time, and arguably you can make the argument 2 of the best first basemen ever played the game.
You're absolutely right. Yeah. Albert Pujols retired last year.
Right.
He hit 703 home runs.
And
703 home
while
runs.
he's appreciated, he does not get talked about nearly as much.
He doesn't.
Because of where he played. Obviously, he had some success. Miguel Cabrera obviously didn't have as much success with Detroit as he had elsewhere. But I mean, God, the numbers.
I know.
Just unbelievable.
And I happen to be fortunate enough to be sitting in PNC Park in Pittsburgh watching Albert Pujols hit his last home run of his career.
Yeah.
Anybody else here can say that?
We can all say it.
You can say
Yeah, I was there too. And I saw the police at the chance in Kingston.
Yeah. I have nothing to add. Yeah.
No. It was a joke. It was a joke.
All right. Last thing I've got is, who remembers Steve Garvey?
Of course. Popeye forearms.
Steve.
There were people. Hold on. There were people out here that actually did raise their hands.
Steve
Who remembers
Garvey,
Darryl LaMonica?
Steve Garvey, Davey Lopes, Ron Say, who is Doug Concepcion was the shortstop.
Concepcion, yeah.
Right field, Pedro Guerrero. Center field, I don't know. Anyway, that's not bad.
Anyway,
He was on third base.
Yeah, exactly.
as I like to call him, Steve the Impregnator Garvey.
I thought that was Nick Cannon.
Well, Garvey was first.
All right.
That explains a lot.
Yeah. So many years ago, if you don't know the Steve Garvey scandal, he knocked up a bunch of women.
Still sore about that. No pun intended.
Yeah. But at one point, there was Steve Garvey gave an interview, and he was interested in public life after baseball. He talked about running for office. He talked about maybe being president one day.
He had the hair for it.
Well, now it's like how many years later? 40 or 50 years later.
Right.
He's 72 or 73, and he is running for the Senate.
Is
in
he?
California.
Steve Garvey's running for Senate in California.
I guess he's figured that everyone
has
is either forgotten or they're dead who knew about his
So
scandals.
he had to wait. He had to wait.
Waited half a century or so, and this. I think the time is right. And he's 72, so he's an old white guy, so he's perfect for Congress.
There you go.
Yeah, there you go. Boo.
So there we go.
I'm guessing he's
now,
running as a Republican.
here's the thing: he could very well win if all of his children vote for him.
That's right. Absolutely. That's right.
So that could put him right over the top.
That's right.
That could put him over the top.
Maybe that was his plan all along.
That's right.
That's all I got for baseball.
There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Got a few other things to get to, but
Steve Garvey.
Steve Garvey.
Is there any
today's old balls?
Today's. Hold on.
I forgot. Yeah, there we. Both of them.
You didn't tell me about it.
I forgot one thing, and are they for real? Don't play the music again.
Right.
But Connor Bedard made his debut for the Blackhawks.
Yeah,
against the Penguins, facing off against Sidney Crosby, who he said was his idol.
Right.
I saw the quick video. It was a really nice moment before the game. Crosby said, "Hey, welcome to the NHL, kid." Chicago got the win.
Yeah.
Bedard got a point.
Yeah.
An assist, and I think he's like the 8th youngest person to ever get a point in their first game in the NHL.
That's
Now,
right.
so the "Are they for real?" I wanted to ask is
the hype real on him?
Yeah, is Connor Bedard going to be more Patrick Kane? First round, first pick for Chicago.
Yeah.
Helped him win 3 cups.
Right.
Considered by a lot of people to be the greatest Blackhawk ever.
Wow.
It's debatable,
Right.
but because of those 3 cups,
Right.
is he going to be more Patrick Kane, or is he going to be more Connor McDavid, who scores a lot of goals and wins a lot of things, but doesn't have his name on a trophy? And has,
Well, not yet. He's still young.
But yeah, he's still got time. But
I mean, look, if
he has yet to even sniff the finals.
If he's either of those guys, then he'll
He'll be
a
fun.
successful season.
Now, which do you think? Will he have more success winning cups, or maybe?
I think
just
right now they're not set to win a cup.
They're not.
No,
But
not yet.
He's certainly a great building piece, and I'm not going to count out McDavid.
No, you
either.
can't count him out for winning something.
I think both of those teams need to add some pieces around these guys in order to be contenders. I think I'm going to go out on a limb and say they're both going to win a cup, and I think they're both going to win multiple.
I think that's fair.
I think so. So the answer to Harry's point,
The answer is neither.
both.
Yeah.
Or both.
Both.
He's
Yeah.
both.
He's both.
All right. Yeah.
There
So
you go.
anyway, I forgot to add that.
I think he's going to actually have better stats than Kane and win.
I think he'll have better stats than Kane. I do. I think he'll have better stats than Kane. I think it'll be more.
If he wins 2 and has better stats, then they might put him in that number 1 or number 2 slot. I
Absolutely.
forget who it is that's number 1 in their history. If it's not
Phil
Patrick Kane.
Esposito, probably.
I don't know.
Yeah, probably. All right. I
Ditka
just
is the number 1.
exactly. Yeah.
Blackhawk of all time.
Just so we.
Also speaking of hockey, I don't have the exact quote here, but who's the vampire guy? Is the commissioner?
Rudy Giuliani?
No, the other vampire guy.
Bela Lugosi.
Commissioner of Bela Lugosi. Yeah.
Bela Lugosi, commissioner of the NHL.
I don't know, but anyway, yeah.
Well, anyway, am I thinking of the right guy? He looks like a vampire. Yeah. Anyway, so they've had this whole controversy with Pride Night and the Russians who don't support it because they hate gay people, and they're like, okay, well, don't wear the jerseys, and then they decide to cancel some of them, and and their slogan that they're pushing is hockey is for everyone, but obviously it's not. Well, now whatever his name is, Dracula put out a saying saying like nobody can really be involved or associated with any group or anything like that. They're not going to wear the jerseys. I guess they're still going to have Pride Nights, but not going to show anything or talk about anything. He said they can't even put like rainbow colored tape on your stick. I don't know why the NHL just doesn't go, we're not for gays. Because we're afraid of the Russians. And honestly, why are we letting the Russians dictate how things go in the league? Why don't we just tell them?
You could ask the same thing about certain administrations.
Well, that's true. But I mean, just come out and go, we tried, but we're afraid of the Russians, and they don't like gays. The Orthodox guys don't like gays. So, we're really not for everybody. Just come out and admit it and be done with it.
I think it's wrong, but look, let's not. If you're not going to push it, let it drop, and that's not.
And don't say anything else about it.
Right. Don't come out like he said. And there was some part of his
true colors.
Some part of his statement that said said something about like getting too close or being closely associated with these groups. I mean, if you, I don't know if I can find it today, but go look it up. It's like he's almost saying, don't get too close to those people because the gay might rub off.
Right. Yeah.
And I mean, it's completely.
You got a little gay.
Oh,
it would certainly make hockey more interesting.
It would. Well,
I mean, doesn't anybody remember the end of Slapshot? Come on.
Yeah. And I mean, there must be gay hockey players.
Absolutely.
So, I mean, they're not going to speak up on this, but it's disgraceful and dumb.
And just let it go.
Yeah,
just
shut up.
Here's another note I'd like to say on hockey. Barry Melrose is retiring from the booth after many, many years. He's ill. I wish him and his family the best. Obviously, while Barry Melrose maybe didn't have the best career off as a coach, as a player, blah, blah, blah. He's kind of become the face of the NHL in a lot of ways to a lot of people. And he's going to be missed. And I think that he was a bridge to the national media, the national sports media for hockey. I think he was a great ambassador for the NHL and was right up until last year. And so I hope that he can overcome this. And I wish him the best in his retirement.
Absolutely.
And here's to health. Hopefully nothing worse.
Exactly.
Keith Olbermann said two things about Barry Melrose. He said that, I don't know if it's true or not, he said the second most dollar value rookie card after Wayne Gretzky is Barry Melrose.
Right.
Not necessarily. I think he had a pretty good hockey career.
Right.
But at least as much because of what he did afterwards.
Sure.
That was one thing he said. The other thing he said was when he was at ESPN, they were covering hockey, and a game went into overtime, Melrose would ask everybody, they would have a pool about who was going to score the overtime goal and win the game. He would say, who you got? And everybody would give him $1 and pick a player, and he would keep it all in his head. He never chose anyone. He just kind of ran the pool. And Keith said, I asked him why he did it, and he said, everybody's invested in the game. I want to build hockey fans.
Yeah.
So you put $1 in and you pick somebody, excuse me, and all of a sudden you're interested and you're kind of watching.
It was fantasy
exactly.
hockey before that.
So even if you're not a hockey fan, you're paying attention, at least for the overtime. So
and look, he's right up there with Michael Bolton as one of the best mullets of all time.
That's true. Also, that is true. Also,
he was a little bit better singer though.
Right, without a doubt.
Yeah.
Especially
really quick, Dave Scardino did write in and said Beddard is legit. Scored first goal tonight.
Yes.
There we go. Yeah, he had. What did he have? Like 72 goals and 62 assists.
He's a sniper.
He's
young. He's fast. He's going to score a lot of goals.
Yep.
Yeah. The NHL though is like any other sport. You have to build a team around it. It's the same thing.
Yeah, you have to keep
took
building.
Gretzky a few years. It took obviously those Oilers teams. You look at any of the Pittsburgh teams. I'm just talking about the hype around a lot of these players. Connor McGregor and Connor McDavid and a lot of these other players. They haven't gotten there yet, but it's also a bigger league with much more parity and far less, let's call it, dynasties that are kind of dominating the top of the game.
Agreed.
It's hard.
Agreed. All right.
Last thing I have is John Morant
John Morant.
suspended for his
No.
yeah. However, he's going to be allowed to travel and practice with the Grizzlies or
Target practice?
While he should be, yeah, he's teaching him how to shoot or at least how to hold it. While he's suspended, which I think is fucked up. Shouldn't he be just away from the team, traveling with them, and practicing while you're suspended?
The team should not be able to benefit from his suspension in any way.
Yeah.
Not at all.
Nor should he.
So the league step in and go, no, you can't do that. But they're giving it the okay because he's
John Morant.
John Morant, one of the faces, one of the future.
I'll tell you this though. One other thing with the NBA, Wembyama, is that how you say his name?
Yep.
That guy's a freak.
Yeah. But actually, the other day,
He was playing against what's his name?
the other guy who was hurt last
The
year.
other
who's in
sticks.
the
It was like two giant chopsticks playing against.
But
each other.
what's his name outscored him.
Yeah, but he
He looked good. He looked pretty good.
against him. Yeah,
It's an exhibition game, so it's not all
Right.
necessary. But
Right.
listen, does anybody not want Wembyama to do well?
No, I mean,
other than the other teams.
I think this is. We talk about
other
Bill.
than the other NBA teams.
Other than that,
We talk about Bill Belichick. I think Pop is maybe the Belichick of the NBA. I think he's personally the best NBA coach of all
I
time.
thought you were more of a Mike D'Antoni.
Yeah, right. For what he did with the talent that he had. But he's, you need that signature player to build around. You need that person who's going to be a leader. This guy might be it. I mean, I don't want to build up too much hype, but
he's in the right place.
He's in the right place.
Or one of the best places.
Agreed.
Yep.
I agree.
That's all I got, kids.
Is that it?
It may very well be. We're getting to wrap it up from the crew over here. All right.
We want to do over under?
We do want to do over under.
I got to get my thing here.
We got an over under, and you guys are included.
Pete's going to get his thing, and we're going to do an over under.
He's going to get his thing, and we're going to do an over under.
It will be.
It is every week.
All right.
Are we going over or under?
We're going back. Now, when we do these, Harry is pretty good at when I hold up a bottle of stuff, and you have to guess how many screws or
I'm good at
tacks,
visual.
whatever. He's good at that. So we're going to do that one, only it's a blind one because you can't see through the container. So
just by audio.
it's going to be audio. So
how many Viagra pills?
How many Viagra pills?
Not
No,
Viagra pills.
It's Cialis. It's Cialis.
Pete takes medicine because he has high blood pressure and high cholesterol and arrhythmia.
And he talks in the third person.
I do. So
That's the main medication he takes.
Pete takes his old pill bottles and divides things up. He uses one type of pill bottle for his morning pills, and these for.
And one of these days, we're going to get him on the show to talk about it.
This is why he gets compared to Rachel Ray.
For the nighttime
Yeah.
pills. So the over/under is how many? These are my nighttime pills, which may consist of something. Well, it consists of at least something for some of those ailments, perhaps all of them, perhaps not, and a few other things too, perhaps.
Right.
I think there's about 9 different things I take over the course of a day.
Right. Heartburn, indigestion.
And what's
Thank
the
God for drugs. Well, some of them are vitamins.
Are there any of
and
the
stuff like that?
are
They're
there-
not all.
Are there any of the Frank Thomas pills in there?
No Viagra, no boner pills. So let's give a listen, and we'll see. This is just tonight,
We're just guessing how many pills are in there.
and the
He's
over
going to take them
under.
while he's on the Southern State Park.
I'm going to take them as soon as we're done because I'm overdue.
Yeah.
And I can feel. So we're going to set the over under for
We don't need to count them, by the way.
4.5.
4.5.
4.5.
All right. Over or under? Over. Everybody's over.
Everybody's over.
Over.
I'm under.
Under.
Oh,
There's at least 5.
for the first time ever.
If you go over, there's at least 5.
I'm going under.
He's going under. All right. Well,
Harry and I are under. Over.
over. All right, here we go.
Count it out loud, folks.
We got vitamin D.
Oh, that doesn't count as one.
We got magnesium.
2,
We got arrhythmia.
3,
We got the Flomax.
4.
We got blood thinner.
5.
There we go, and we got
And a Tic Tac.
and a Tic Tac. So the magic number is 6. Good job.
And
We lose.
And
You win.
Speaking
Our
of,
loss is your
Now this
game.
is the first time I think you guys have gone the same
This
way.
is the first time in 3 years that we've done
They
this
usually-
that we did not pick opposite of each other.
Yeah.
And it's because you were here to win.
Well, there you go. Good job.
Speaking of
We didn't do it
over,
intentionally. We just
Speaking of over, we're over.
We're done.
Thank you for coming out.
over.
We'd like to thank the wonderful folks at Wild Air for having us.
Come on down. Next time you're in or near Asbury Park.
Anywhere
That's right.
near Asbury Park, New Jersey, definitely stop at Wild Air Brewing here, right on Main Street corner, 2nd and Main. Definitely come down here and have beers here. It's amazing. There's a lot of really good craft beer in New Jersey, as I can attest to. But definitely get here. You want to see these guys here. The beers are phenomenal.
Yes.
And thank you so much for hosting us tonight and letting
Thank
us
you
do
very
our
much.
thing here. Thanks to our crowd for coming out tonight. We appreciate you guys. And on that note, we're going to wrap this 3rd anniversary show up for the evening. And I don't have my notes with me, so bear with me and see if it's actually kind of on par. Want to thank everybody for watching, and for those of you just listening to the audio podcast, thanks for listening. Don't forget to visit our website, www.loggerroom.com. That's Loggerroom. It used to be the Logger Room, but now it's Get
Not
On With It
anymore.
Podcast.
Get
Get
On
On
With
With It Podcast. Yeah. GetOnWithItPodcast.com. That's GetOnWithItPodcast.com. And please remember, like us and follow us on all of our social media, Facebook, Twitter, and of course Instagram. All of them are at Get On With It. Get On With It Podcast. Anyway, we do the show every week on Wednesday night at around 7:30 p.m. Eastern Time,
Which means 8:30.
which means 8:30, somewhere in there.
Yeah.
And you can see us live on Facebook, YouTube, Twitch, and Twitter, which is now X.
And C-SPAN.
And
And
Spreaker.
we're on C-SPAN too. And if you want to just listen to the audio podcast, you can do so on our brand new podcast host, Spreaker, as well as pretty much any other podcast host out there. If there's a podcast host, you can Get On With It on that podcast host. Anyway, thanks for following along with us. Have a great rest of your week. Have a wonderful weekend. Watch a lot of sports, but make sure you watch us next week too. And we really appreciate it. And do us a favor, like us and follow us on our socials. Comment in, let us know what you think of the show. Let us know what you think of this show, thought of this show, and let us know that you're watching. And if you have any suggestions on other stuff you want to see us do, within reason, let us know. And we'll talk to you soon, folks.
Eat your vegetables.
Happy 3rd anniversary, guys.
Happy
Really
anniversary.
appreciate it.
And thanks to the Devils fans in the house.
That's
There you go.
Even though they don't know what sport they play, they're still good people.
Chico Resch rules.
Chico rules. There you go. All right. Good night, folks. Take care.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.
Look at the little Tula. She's talking to the producer. And I'm